Hello everyone and welcome back to another playthrough video here on the World War II Solitaire board game channel. Today we're gonna play the excellent Savage Streets, which is a magazine game which is included in Special Ops issue number 1, the Wargaming Journal, published by Multi-Man Publishing. Link is in the description where you can get this game. You can currently get it for $26 directly from MMP, but I know a lot of retailers also carries this special magazine. Anyway, this is an excellent game. It is based on Rattenkrieg, the assault on the tractor factory, which is a postcard game that I've previously featured on this channel. And you can see the counters here, some of the counters. And I actually have real counters over here. And you can see that we have some units, we have some event markers, and our German units. And this game is exactly the same. You can see here the stars values. We can see those on this postcard game as well. So again, this game is based on that little postcard game, which I also liked very much. But I gotta say, this is just perfect because although I like the postcard game, it plays very quickly, and you might want to play perhaps 2-3 times, and then you want to move on to something else. But with this game, a game takes approximately about 1 hour, so it's a lot more meat on the bones on this one. So it's like an amped up version of Rattenkrieg, Assault on a Tractor Factory. So I'm very happy with it. Anyway, since this is our first time playing, we are briefly going to discuss the setup of the game, and then we're briefly going to discuss the rules as we go. So if you're not particularly interested in the setup of the game, go ahead and skip ahead a few minutes until I start playing. Okay, so to set up the game, simple. You put the game turn marker here on turn number 1. You put the Stuka on the non-spent side. The spent side is with the red draw there. So you put it on the normal side. You should put it next to the map, it says, but I like to put it on the map. And then we have control markers, which are two-sided. One of them say German control, and the other side says Soviet controlled. You should put one of these in each of the areas, except the letter area, so only the numbered areas. You're gonna need some D6. I recommend using D6 with 2 colors, so you can roll for both sides in the same roll. That's also, I think, more exciting. So I use the red rolls here for the Soviets. I am playing the Germans, and we will use the black D6. Also, a note is that you can actually only play as Germans in the solitaire version of this game. So once you've done that, you're going to take your event markers, and your event markers can be, for example, it can be a dummy, or it can be a sniper, or it can be artillery. And we're going to discuss all of those events when they happen. But anyway, you're going to take all the event markers, put them face down in a pile, and mix them up, so you don't know which is which. Then you're going to go ahead and take all of the Soviet combat unit markers, which has this yellow line on the top. Those are the Soviet starting units. You're going to take them and put them face down like this and mix them up a little bit so you don't know which one is which. And then you're going to go ahead and put them out according to the rules of setup. So the first one is going to go to area number 2. Let's see, rail yards. And I like to put my units to the left of this circle and the Soviet events to the right of it, because there is a stacking limit of 3 units and 3 events for the Soviets. So to keep track of, because the events and the units, they look the same face down. So to keep track of that, I like to keep them in that order. Okay, so we have placed our first unit in the rail yards. The next one is going downtown. And next one is going to area 5. And then we have area 6, area 9, and area 12. And then for the remaining 3 units, we are going to roll 2d6 and place them in that numbered area. So first roll is a 4. Second roll is a 5. And third and final placement roll is an 8. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and take a look at the unit markers, because there are some vital information on those. Okay, let's see if I can pick up one of each without destroying my piles. All right, so to the left here we have a Soviet unit marker, and to the right we have a German one. So the upper text here, that is about regiments and divisions. Sorry, regiments and battalions, but that's not something you need to take note of in the normal game. When you play with optional rules, you might need that information, but since this is our first time playing, we're not going to be using the optional rules, so you don't need to take care of that. However, with the German, the color that you see in this case, it's green. That is means his starting area, so he can start in B or C. He cannot start in A, since his regiment has the green color. And then we have a few values here. Most importantly for the setup, this value which is encircled, that's the turn which they will enter. So this German regimental headquarters is going to enter on the first turn, and this infantry division from or battalion, whatever, from the Soviets is going to enter on turn number 2. And then we have the values under them, right? So the left one on the German, that's the combat value, and the middle value for the Soviet is also the combat value. The value to the right on the German, that's their movement value. That's how many areas they can move during the movement phase. And you can see that the Soviet unit marker or battalion regiment marker, you can see that he is missing the movement value, and that's because the Soviets can only move for maximum 1 area, so they don't need that movement value. So that is the way it works. So basically we have the turn track here, which you can see on the right side. So you're going to go ahead and sort them up. You can see on the turn track we have the stars and the cross, and that means, for example, on 3 here with the star, it means that you're going to have Soviet reinforcements. So with the Soviet stacks, however, which will be for turn number 2, 3, 5, and 7, you're going to go ahead and put them face down and shuffle them, because you're not supposed to know what kind of units will come. So let's see. That's turn 2. And then we have turn 3. That's a big stack. So go ahead and shuffle those. And then I like to just put them here on the turn track to remember which turn to bring them in, since obviously you cannot see them and figure that out from seeing them face down. Alright, let's see here. You don't have to do that with your guys. And then you do the same with all of them in the 5th turn. And there is one thing here that you need to notice, and it's, remember, this circle is the turn that they will enter, but these are red instead of black. And in turn 5 we don't, now that we shuffle, we don't have to take any attention to that, just shuffle them, put them face down. But when we come to the last Soviet reinforcements turn, which is turn number 7, we need to take note of that and separate them. And the reason for that I'm going to show you here. In turn 7, the Soviets will get 6 of these counters. Half of them are black, half of them are red. And the black ones can enter, if these 2 areas are contested, they can only enter to areas 7 and 8, and they will also have to take fire while entering. However, the red ones, they can also enter through area 6, and they can even enter through area 6 if it's German controlled. That's the only unit that can enter. If 7 or 8 is controlled by Germany, these black ones, they cannot enter the game at all. They have to wait until the next turn. But the reds are different in that way. So you're going to go ahead and shuffle them. And I put my the normal entry guys I put there on the left side, and then the special rule ones, the red ones, I put on the right. And then you just have to make a mental note that in turn 5 for this, the only stack, and turn 7 for the right stack, it's going to be a special condition for them to arrive. And it might be difficult perhaps to remember for your first game, so you might want to have something like I do. I like to have post-it notes. I write horribly, but I like to have post-it notes with specific rules that are the kind of rules that's kind of hard. If you haven't played very much, it's kind of hard to memorize them. So I like to just put them on post-it notes, have nearby, glance at the post-it note every now and then to make sure that I'm not forgetting something important. Alright, so briefly let's discuss the victory condition here. If I wipe out every Soviet marker, and that includes event markers, I win. At the end of turn 9, if there are still Soviet control markers left, but I control area number 7 and area number 1, that is not contested or Soviet controlled, I also win. So that is my mission. Before we get going, it's also part of the setup to put out some event markers. So we're gonna put 3 event markers and we are gonna roll to see where they go. So area number 11. And remember, I put them on the right side of the circle, of the area circle. Let's see what it says. 5. So 5 is becoming a strong area. And the last one goes on area number 3. Let's see, where do we have 3? There we are. And that's it for the setup. We're now ready to start playing. Okay, so the game is divided into sequences. So the first sequence is placing German reinforcements if they arrive for this turn. The second sequence is place Soviet reinforcements if they arrive for this turn. Then the third sequence is place Soviet event shits. The fourth phase is Soviet movement phase, but this is not done during the first turn. Every other turn it's done. Then we have German movement phase, and then we have combat phase, and then we have the end of the turn phase. So that's how it works. So now we're gonna do the first step, which is placing German reinforcements, and we have a divisional HQ, 2 infantry squads, and 2 Stugs and a flak. One more thing that you might want to know about this, you can see here is an infantry division. There is also AT, and there is engineers, pioneers. However, that's non-relevant in the basic game. That's only relevant if you're playing with advanced rules. And again, we're going to be playing with the original rules since it's our first time playing. Next time we might go for the advanced rules. Okay, so it's time to see where we want to place our Germans. So these guys, by the way, the armored divisions, which are non-regimental, they can be put in any of these lettered areas. These green ones can only be put in B or C. There is a stacking limit for me as well. I can have a maximum of 3 units in a group, plus 1 regimental HQ, plus 1 armor. So I can have a total of 5 units in that way. So if we say this is my 3 combat units, plus 1 regimental HQ, plus 1 armored unit. That is the maximum stacking limit. But if it would have been like this, I guess that would be legal too. Okay, so anyway, we have to decide where to start and which way to go. So I think the best way is working myself up towards 7. Or maybe I should go this direction now, since that is the long way. Okay, I'm gonna go on the right side, so I'll put my regimental HQ. Where actually I have the basic combat group here of two battalions and one armor, and then again you can have one regimental HQ with that, and then you can have one additional armor. I don't think I am gonna go ahead and split them up actually. Maybe that's a mistake. Hard choices in this game. Okay, I am gonna actually take one. I'll do like this, okay? So I'll take one infantry division here. And then we'll do it like this instead. Because I kind of have to take control of some of these areas, as it's gonna be a problem if I leave too many areas Soviet controlled. Okay, so for movement, you're gonna have to roll a d6 for each counter. On a roll of 5 or 6, they can't move, but they can do combat if there is a contested area. On a roll of 1 to 4, they can move. However, the divisional HQ gives each and every unit a -1 die roll modifier, so only on a roll of 6 will they not be able to move. So let's start with these guys. They are going to go ahead and move to the rail yards. I roll for the Stug. He's not going to be able to move. And then I roll for the infantry division. And he rolls a 6, so he's not going to be able to move either. Then we roll here for the Stug first. He needs only a Flak cannot move. He needs only a 1 to 5. This guy can move. And then finally the regimental HQ, who rolls, I don't know if you can see that all the way in there, but it's a 1. So he can move. Okay, not off to a great start, but it is what it is. Okay, so now that we have done that, normally we would have done the Soviet movement before, but remember we're in turn 1, so that's not going to happen. So we only have one battle area, and we now reveal our enemy, which is the NKVD with a 1 in battle value, and the total battle value now for the Russians are 1 plus the 1 star there, so that's 2. And my battle value is 2, 5, 7. So this is how it works, right? If there is a tie, or actually if one of the side has an advantage, they will get 1 more d6. So currently the Russians have 1 d6 and I have 2. However, if one of the sides' total battle value is more than double the other side's, so in this case, if it's more than 4, since their battle value is 2, you will get 1 more d6. So I now have 3 instead of 2. And then we're gonna go ahead and use the Stuka. The Stuka can be used once every turn, and if you use the Stuka, you get 1 more d6. So we now have 4, and they have 1. It's still not sure to win. Last game I played, I was on the last turn. I only needed to capture 7. I had 4 or 5 units. The Russians only had 1. I rolled 3 dice, they rolled 1. They won. Because whoever rolls highest wins. So if this becomes a 6 and I roll 2, 3, 4, 5, the Russians win. And Russians always wins ties, except if there's a regimental HQ among the fighting German forces. So anyway, let's roll to see what happens. And it did not turn out as I had hoped. I have won the combat because the Soviets rolled 4 and I rolled 6. So I win, and the Soviet counter is destroyed and removed from the game, and it's now German controlled. However, I was hoping to get at least 1 equal or higher to the highest roll of the Soviets, because that would have given me one more hit. If I would have rolled a 4 here, I would have 2 hits. Also, of course, if I would have rolled a 5 or a 6. And if you do more hits than there are enemies defending, you do a breakthrough and you're allowed to do a second movement and a second combat turn. So that is very powerful. However, that did not happen this turn. And when you use the Stuka, you put it on the side here with the used side up. And that is the end of our turn. And I gotta say that, yep, that was not a very good turn. So you go ahead and reset the Stuka. And before we do that, one very important thing, which I also happened to forget in what's it called? Rattenkrieg, Assault on the Tractor Factory. After every German combat, doesn't matter if you take a hit or not, you have to reduce your one of your units. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose the Stug. I'll reduce the Stug. So I put it on the reduced side, and next time it takes a hit, it will be destroyed. And this will happen every battle, even if you win. So remember that. We reset the Stuka, we move the game turn up, and now we start turn number 2. So the first thing is place German reinforcements. A lot of German reinforcements this turn. So let's see what we have to work with. We have a problem here because we didn't get these guys away. So these black ones are easy because they can only start in this area. Remember, the stacking limit is 3 units plus 1 regimental HQ plus 1 armored unit. And then I think the green ones isn't going to be much of a choice either. I think I am going to go ahead and put these 3 guys over here with regimental HQ. Remember, 3 units plus 1 regimental HQ and 1 armored unit. So we're still good. I gotta check my camera that I'm recording properly because I keep accidentally moving the map a little bit. Okay, so we have placed our reinforcements. Now it's time to place the Russian reinforcements. So the Russian reinforcements, the rules, you have to kind of keep it close because it's a specific way of doing it. But in the beginning, it's kind of easy. The first reinforcements goes to any vacant Soviet-controlled area which is adjacent to an area with German units. So we look at our areas and the adjacent ones. Oh, we should have placed these as well. Let's do it like this. Okay, back to the game. So we look at the adjacent areas and we can see that all of the adjacent areas to us, they have some units. So they're not vacant. So none of them will have reinforcements. So if that happens, you then go to area 7 and 8 and you put 1 unit in each and alternate until both of these areas are full. And remember, the stacking limit is 3. So now we're out of Soviet reinforcements. We place them all. So now we put out the Soviet event chits, and you know how you do it. You roll 2d6, and we have 4. And we have another ring 4. And the last one, and can't see, 8. And now comes the only part of the game which I don't particularly fancy. And that part of the game is Soviet movement. The process is not very difficult. Basically, you roll for areas, 2d6, and if the number is an adjacent area, you will move there. It's quite simple. But one thing about it that I find annoying is that you have to do it in a specific order. So you have to consult the rules. Even though I played for quite a few hours, I will not remember this. I remember that you always start with 7 and 8. But then I forget, you go area 7, 8, 6, 5, 9, 10, 4, 3, 11, 2, 12. So there is no logical order, it's all over the place. You have to keep the rules close, or you have to do a post-it note of it. So we're gonna do the movement now, and you will roll for each unit and for each event counter. And one special rule is that units and events cannot leave an area. If that area contains German, it cannot leave an area that also contains German. So it can leave an area that contains German and go to an empty area, or an area with Soviet units, or it could go from an empty area to an area with Germans, but it cannot switch places between two areas containing Germans. Anyway, we will follow this procedure then. We start with area 7, and we roll for the first counter. And we roll 11. 11 is over here, so that's invalid. We go to the next one. And now we roll 5. 5 is over here, so it's invalid. And then we take the last one. And we roll 11 again. And as you know, that is invalid. And we go to area 8. So basically we have to roll with this one 4, 10 or 11. Even if we roll 7, it's the stacking limit is 3, so it cannot move there. First counter rolls 11. Okay, that's actually valid. So it moves to 11. Next counter rolls 9, invalid. Next counter 5, invalid. Event marker 4, and that is actually valid. Okay, so next area is going to be area number 6. And area number 6 rolls 10, invalid. And then it goes 5, 7, cannot move to 7. 5, which is already in. And I cannot see the rolls. 6, where's the 6? The 6 is over here, so that's invalid. And then we go to area 9. And we roll 3. So this one moves to 3. And then we go to area 10, which is empty. So we go to area 4. And we roll 7. So and it cannot go there because the stacking limit is already maxed. But we roll for the event markers now. One roll for each. 11. It's not legal. 8. That can happen. So an event marker actually goes back to 8. It came here. And then the last one. 8 again. Okay. And then area 4. Oh, we already did that. So now area 3. I don't know why they keep jumping out. Area 7. It's too far away. Next counter. Area 7 and the event chit. Area 6. So it can go to area 6. And then the last 11, 2 and 12. Let's see, 11 is over here. 8. So this unit goes to 8, and then the event marker, which says 6, but it cannot go to 6. And then we have 2. It says 5, so this one moves to 5. And then we have 12, and that is German controlled, so no Soviet units can move from there. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is the only thing that I don't particularly fancy with the game. That, I mean, the movement, you have to constantly check the rules. There could have been some kind of number on the map, because the Soviet movement phase takes quite a long time. If there's a lot of, if all these units are out here and you have to roll for all of them. So it would have been cool if, they could have had a rule like go from area 12 and down, or from area 2 and up, or they could have even said like go this way, up to the right until you've done all of the areas. But now you just keep constantly checking these reference in the rules and so on. But anyway, that is that is, you know, a small part of it. And once you get used to it, I'm guessing after a few more games, maybe I will learn. I've learned that the first are 7, 8, 6, 5. And then comes 9, 10, and I haven't learned that part, so I've learned half of it. Anyway, that is it for the Soviet movement phase, and we're going to go ahead now for the German movement phase. So let's see where I want to move off to. Okay, I definitely want to go to this area, and from this area is the question where I want to go. I think I want to go to this area. Okay, so with these guys, let's see, do I want to split them up perhaps? We have 2 areas here which I can take control of. So that's pretty sweet. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start here on this side now. We'll start with the Stug. He needs to roll a 5 or a 1 to 5, not a 6, please. A 2, so he's good to go. Then we have the infantry marker, he's good. And then the regimental HQ. Okay, so all of them can move. So a Stug moves here. Takes control of the area, moves over here, again takes control of the area, and then he moves to the right here. And these areas, guys, they have a movement value of 2, so they move 1, 2, so they also move up there. And let's see, this group here could go over here, I guess. So let's roll to see if they can go. They all need to roll 1 to 5. HQ rolls 2, he's good to go. Infantry 1, 3, 3, and 3. That's cool. Okay, so all of these guys move together up to Lenin Square through the rail yards, so we capture the rail yards on the way over there. So now the thing is that if I can capture the state bank, I can encircle all of these other guys, and the reinforcements is not going to be able to go through. But I see that it's going to be difficult to do that. I could perhaps go to downtown district. This area has quite a lot of Soviets, so I want to avoid that area. Okay, so these guys are going to go ahead and go then to downtown district. So we'll roll for them. They need to roll a 1 to 4. So a 5 to 6 will unfortunately make them have to stay. So the Stug has to stay. This guy can move up. And then we have has to stay. Also has to stay. That is horrible. Okay, so that is the way I think. Okay, so I'm just going to move him over here then. I don't want to move him in there all alone. And then we have these guys, and they only need, let's see, 1 to 5. And the question is here, because I could move this guy in and then move in the flak. That could be a good move. Because he could move in this way and then up here and up here. Okay, I'm gonna do that because the flak only needs a roll of 1 to 5. And he rolls a 6, but I've already decided to move this guy. You have to complete the whole area for a movement, or all of the movement for an area before you move to the next area. So this is done. I can't change that. Okay, so these guys, the flak cannot move, but we have to roll for all of them, the other guys. So let's just start by rolling to see who can move or not. The regimental HQ can move. The infantry division can move. The other one can also move. And the last one can also move. So only the flak cannot move. And the question now is where I want to go with them. Okay, I'm going to move them up to Red Square. We'll move to Rail Crossing and to Red Square. And keep away from this area. Okay, so we're done with our German movement. So what we're going to do now is reveal all of the defenders. So at Lenin Square we have the NKVD. And for the vent we have an ambush. And over at the supply depot, the vent is a dummy. And that's very good. So let's start with this area then. Because if the event is a dummy, and this is a special rule. So this is one of those things that you have to keep in your mind. If the only defender of a region is an event sheet or more event sheets, and all of the event sheets are dummies. In this case, one. That means you can do, you put it back in the pile of event sheets. That means you can do a breakthrough. And that means you can move one adjacent area and attack again. So if I want to now, also you don't have to do the damage to yourself. If I want to now, I could move to the main ferry landings. And I'm not sure that is a swell idea, because I don't think I could do... I'm probably going to take some damage if I move up there. But I think I'm going to do it anyway, because I kind of have to push my luck a little bit. So that means we have to reveal all of this immediately. And we have a fanatic strong point. We have 2 fanatic strong points. That's good for me, because there can only be one. There can only be one. So that means the other one is discarded. And then our enemies... okay, two okay enemies. I wouldn't say barely decent and 1 bad. So, okay, let's start with the battle over here. Or actually, let's start with this one, because it's going to be the final one. You can only break through 1 time. So this is going to be the end anyway. So, first of all, let's see. They have a combat value of 1, 2, and 3. Remember to count the stars, right? But then they actually have 1 more because of the fanatic strong point. So that gives them a total of 4. So they have 4 in combat value. I have 2, 3, 6. So that is going to be 2 of my black dice versus one of their red. I could, of course, use the Stuka, but I have a feeling that I might want to save that for a later turn. Okay, guys, so let's see what happens. Let's battle. Ooh, look at that. That was a very good roll. I rolled 2 6s, they roll a 4, so that means 2 of these are going to be killed. So which ones do you remove? Well, the rules, they don't state which ones you're going to remove. They state that the Soviet player chooses which units to remove. And you have to realize, of course, that if you were the Soviet player, you would not remove the best 2 units. You remove the worst one first, and then one of the best ones, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to win this cheaply. The Fanatic Strong Point remains. That can be destroyed later on, but it has to be destroyed for me to actually take control of the area. So what happens now? I have to take 1 hit, remember? So the Stug, we're going to go ahead and remove that. That is our first casualty of Stalingrad. The regimental HQ and the infantry battalion remains. And it's not Soviet controlled anymore. It's not German controlled either. It is now contested. And this area should, however, be German controlled, since we entered that area and cleared it out of enemy markers. Okay, so next battle. Here we have a battle with combat value for the Russians of 3. And before we actually do that, we have the ambush here. So the ambush is going to affect one of my units. I am going to let it affect the Stug. We will roll 1d6. On a roll of 1 to 2, nothing happens. On a roll of 3 to 4, the Stug is suppressed and cannot take part of this combat. On a roll of 5 to 6, it's actually damaged. So let's roll and hope for a 1 or a 2. And we roll a 6, and that means the Stug is damaged. That's lousy luck. The ambushes can be a pain in the butt, but I gladly take an ambush before I take that Fanatic Strong Point. Anyway, so now we have a total combat value of... What did I say? They have 4? They have 3, of course. Sorry. They have a combat value 3, and I have a combat value 5, 8, 10, 11. So, of course, it's more than double. So I am going to be able to use 3 dice instead of 2. And the question now is, do I want to use the Stuka? Because I want to do more hits to this area than there are enemies. So I need to make two of my rolls be higher than the Russian one. Then I can do a breakthrough. I am going to go ahead and use the Stuka just to play it safe. I don't want to push my luck too far and hope for a breakthrough. And it's not looking good. There you see how we can go. And that's just what happens sometimes. The Russians are so mean. I roll 4d6. It doesn't matter because they roll 6 and they win the combat. So when the Russians win the combat, it's exactly the same. You still have to take that 1 damage, but nothing more happens actually. These guys aren't damaged. However, it's not Soviet controlled anymore. It is now contested. And there you see, I mean, maybe some of you guys thought, oh, what a chicken using the Stuka when you have 3 dice. But, well, it's happened so many times, just this thing. Anyway, guys, that is the end of game turn 2. We enter now game turn 3. And this is a dreaded turn for me because you can see this stack of Soviet units waiting to land here on the Volga. Okay, so we have our shuffled troops here, and the first place you should put your reinforcements would be an vacant Soviet-controlled place without that is bordering a German-controlled area. But we have no vacant Soviet-controlled place, so then it goes back to 7 and 8. And 7 is full; it already has 3 of them, but we can put units in 8. And we're going to put units in 8 until 8 is stacked with 3 units. However, since 8 is now contested, we have to roll a die, a German die, to see if they actually make it. On a roll of 1 to 2, they make it. On a roll of 3 to 4, they are delayed until the next turn. On a roll of 5 to 6, they're actually killed. So let's hope for a 5 to a 6. And we roll a 2, so they make it. And then we take the next one. And again, they make it. These Russians, man, I'm telling you, they're tough. Okay, so then we will put in some other areas. We should put 1 in each Soviet-controlled areas. And this is important also to remember that there has to be a chain of areas to 7 or 8 that is not German-controlled. So, for example, if we would have this and this area controlled, this is contested right now and this is Soviet-controlled, but if we control this and control this, we would effectively cut off any reinforcements to these areas, all of these areas. However, now we will put 1 each in each Soviet-controlled area. So we put 1 in 4, 1 in 3, and 1 in 5. Let's see now. Then we should put 1 in each contested area. So 1 is going to go here in 6. And that is going to be the end of it. So only in 7 or 8 are you going to put, sometimes 6 with those red placement units, are you going to put, until they're full. The other areas you're just going to put 1. So that is the end of it. And these that remain are delayed until next turn. So just push them down 1 turn. I like to have them here to remember them. The final placement would actually be, according to the rules, a vacant Soviet-controlled area, but we do not have any vacant controlled Soviet areas which do not border to a German-controlled area. That's the last one. And it might sound a little bit confusing, but when you have read the rules, it's just 3 pages of rules. When you read the rules and you've seen it, you played it, it's gonna make a lot more sense, I promise you. Okay, so now that we have placed out the Soviet reinforcements, we're gonna go ahead and put the Soviet event chips, and we are gonna shuffle these up because I have a tendency to just pile, you take it and you put it on the top and then you just replay the same shit over and over again. So we have 3 of them and we roll a 2. So that's not going to happen because it cannot be placed in a German controlled area. So we re-roll and it's a 9. And again we have a German controlled area. A 6 can happen in 6. Next 1 goes into 11. A German controlled area. 11 again. 5. Oof. Starting to stack up over here in 5, man. Last one, 6. Okay, 2 and 6. That's bad. Okay, so we've done that, and now we have the Soviet movement phase. Okay, so let's see if there's actually... Okay, there's a valid movement over here. Okay, so we'll start with 7. I don't know why they're escaping. I roll a 7 for the first one, which they're already in. I roll a 5, which is not valid because it's too far away, and a 6. And that is actually valid, so one of them goes to 6. And then we have area 8. And we roll 11. So the first one leaves to area 11. Second one is area 7, which is valid. So it leaves to area 7. And once it goes to an empty area, you put it face down again. And last one, area 9, but that's illegal. And then we have 6. First one goes to area 5, cannot. Second unit, area 5, which cannot. Last combat unit, area 10. That's not valid. First event, area 8, not valid. Second event, area 5, not valid. Okay, 6, and then it should be area 5 after 6. 6, not valid. 6, not valid. 10, not valid. Next one. Next event, first event. 8, not valid. Last event. 10, not valid. Okay, now I have to look at the rules because now I can't remember next area. Next area should be 9 and 10. So 9 is German controlled. 10 is German controlled. Next should be 4 and 3. Okay. So we start with the first unit of 4. God. Sorry for using the Lord's name in vain. 6. Cannot move to 6 because 6 is stacked to the max. Next unit. 10. Can move to 10. And the capture. Actually, let's do that later on because I can move in and defend. Okay, first event. 6. Oof. That's unlucky. 4 and 3. Oh, we never did damage for free. Okay, so we forgot about doing damage for free. So let's do that now. This is the last turn's fight. Okay, so they have a combat value of 1, 2, 3. I have a combat value of 3 as well. So both of us are gonna get 2d6. So we roll the 2d6 and they roll 6, so they win. So I take a damage, and that's the end of it. Could have imagined that. Okay, so we're back in area 3 now, which we should do roll for Soviet movement. So roll for the tank. Roll area 3, which is already in. NKVD. Area 5, which is stacked. He cannot move there. And then SMG, area 7, which is too far away. And then we have area 11, 2, and 12. Let's see, 11. Okay. 5. You cannot move from 5. 11. What do we say? 2 and 12. Okay, and they are German controlled. So that's it. And again, you can see it's a little bit tedious doing the Soviet movement. It's the only part which I don't really enjoy. I mean, sometimes it's kind of cool. And I think in this turn it was actually pretty cool. Because now they actually went to... They went to 10, they went to 11, they will capture these areas. They went to 6 and reinforced where I'm attacking. It's going to be hell there. So I actually think this, it made a lot of sense, but of course that's not always going to be the case. Alright, so now that the Soviet is done with his movement, it's going to be my turn to do my movement. And these areas are still considered German controlled until the end of the combat phase. So if I go there, I'm actually going to have a combat bonus. So I am going to go ahead and go there. I'm going to split my forces up. 2 of them are going to go over here and 2 of them are going to go over here. So let's see how I can roll. I need to roll 1 to 5 to be able to move these guys. So let's put them together. We'll start with the first one simply. He can move. Next one, he can move. The third one, he can move. And the regimental HQ, he can also move. Okay? Blop, blop. And then we are going to roll for the flak. He needs a 1 to 4. He cannot move. These guys are going to stay where they are. I'm going to try to send them some Stug support. The Stug needs to roll 1 to 4, so he managed to move. These two guys are going to go up there. They also need to roll 1 to 4. This didn't make it. The flak. Reroll that one. And the flak makes it up here. Okay, so the Stug moves over here. And that is going to be the end of our movement phase. Actually, I could I could go ahead with these guys and actually move to the HQ, but I'm not actually sure that is a good choice. Let me consider my options briefly. Okay, so the Stug here, actually, I'll move it here instead. And these guys, I'm gonna roll to see if I can move to the HQ. I only need to roll 1 to 5 with them. So for the HQ rolls 6. So I'm gonna stay. And the Stug I moved, I cannot change my mind. It is the way it is. Okay, so this is gonna be the battles for today. So let's go ahead and flip some counters. Over here we have this battle, and in the specialist house. And here we have a tank. And when you play with optional rules, this tank is going to be a problem. This is an AT gun is going to be a problem if you have armor. But now it's okay. Oh no. Okay, so this guard's counterattack is really the worst one you can get. The dummy, of course, you just remove. That's cool. The Molotov cocktail, that's also good. I have no armor, luckily, because that is going to try to suppress or damage your armor. So you just remove that. However, the guard's counterattack will give the Russians an extra D6. And if they manage to win the roll, for every roll equal or higher than my roll, it's going to be 1 additional damage, except the 1 damage I always have to take. So let's start with this battle because it's going to be quite exciting. I'm going to go ahead and use my Stuka, of course. The combat value here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Russians. For me, it's 2, 5, 8, 10. Oh, darn it. If I would have had 1 more combat value, I would have been able to have 1 more die. But now I'm just going to have 3 dice. And the Russians, they have 2, of course, because 1, because they always have 1, and then 1 because of that guard's counterattack. Let's see how this plays out. Oh no. No, that's not good. Because, like you know, the Germans win a tie. The Soviets always win a tie. The Germans win the tie if a regimental HQ is present. Put it on the U side. But with the guard's counterattack, that cancels that. So they are actually going to do now... Let's see, I roll 5 with my highest. Okay, so this actually is just going to be one damage, but it's still very annoying. So the Russians win because they win ties with that. And I have to take 1 damage. I will do it to the Pioneers. And then I have to take 1 damage as always when fighting. So that is a total failure here. And that's how bad the event chits can actually hurt you. Okay, so this battle is finished. We're going to go over to this battle now. And it shouldn't be Soviet controlled. It should be contested. They have a combat value of 2, 3. I have a combat value of 4, 5. Okay, so we will have 2 dice. They will have 1. And I rolled 6. They rolled 5. So that is 1 hit. They're going to eliminate their worst counter. And I have to take a hit. I'm going to take the hit to my flak. And then we have a combat over here. They have a combat value of 2, 4. My combat value is 5. So again, we have 2 versus 1 dice. And we're off. So we win this combat. And this one is destroyed. Also, I could say that we would actually have a combat value. I said I had 5. It would actually be 6. Because when it's German controlled, you will have 1. You can subtract a star or add additional combat 1 value. So this one is destroyed. And that means also that I do a breakthrough. So I could potentially go somewhere else. And I think actually I am going to go ahead and do that. I cannot move them over here. You cannot break through to an area which already contains German units. So I'm going to go ahead and break through to the state bank. And we'll flip that counter and deal with that straight away. Okay, so their combat value is 2. My combat value is 5. So I'm going to get to roll 3 dice this time, and they will only roll 1. Let's hope if we can take this, things are going to look a little bit better, because that is going to mean... Actually, it's not, because it's still going to be a contested chain to this. Well, it's going to be one less Soviet area, at least. Let's hope we can do it. Oh, we don't. And I kind of saw that one coming, man. So we roll 1, 3, and 4, and the Soviets roll a 5, and that's the way this game works. The Soviets, I don't know, they have some supranational power. We take a hit. The Soviets, it goes from Soviet control to contested. Okay, we still have a battle over here, and they have a combat value of 3. We have a combat value of 3, 2, plus 1 because it's German controlled, so 6. So it's not more than double, so it's going to be 2 versus 1. And this time we actually do it, and that feels great. We could do a breakthrough, but there is no place where we can do a breakthrough too, or how to speak. Anyway, we got that guy, and now we go to the last attack, and we have a combat value of 5. They have a combat value of 3. It's going to be 2 versus 1. If I can get 2 of these dice higher than the red one, I will have conquered this area and remove the fanatic strong point. So let's hope that happens, because that could change the tide. Otherwise, I think it's going to be very hard to win this game. And here we did have a combat. So do not forget, like I do sometimes, to take 1 hit to your units. Oh, man, that is awesome. Okay, so we roll higher. We roll the 4 and the 3, they roll the 3. So 1 is destroyed, and then because everyone that is equal will also destroy 1. So the fanatic strong point is destroyed, and that means main ferry landings is now German controlled. Very good. That will stop them a little bit. And don't forget, you have to take 1 hit. And I think actually I'm going to go ahead and reduce the infantry instead. And I do believe that's all the areas taken care of. I guess maybe I should have a system where I do from upwards to the right, like you read a book, so I don't forget any of the areas. Okay, so we go to turn number 4, and we start with the first step, which is placing German reinforcements. We have 2 Stugs coming. Very well needed, I might add. We'll put 1 over here at A. Actually, we'll put 2 over there at A. Oh yeah, I have to get reinforcements up here too. Anyway, we're gonna get to it. Okay, and once we're done that, we're going to go ahead and place our Russian reinforcements or Soviet reinforcements. Okay, so remember, the first place you put is in a vacant place, vacant Soviet-controlled place bordering a German occupied area, but there is no such place. The next place you would put would be in 7 or 8 if it's Soviet-controlled, but only 7 is Soviet-controlled and it's full, so it cannot be put over there. The next place is going to be where you can trace a supply line to 7 or 8. You can trace a supply line to 7 if it's contested or Soviet controlled. So we're going to put 1 in 3 and 1 over here in 4. And that's going to be it. And all of these other ones, the 3 ones, are going to go to be in the next turn. And we have to put our event shit, so we're gonna go ahead and shuffle them. So things are looking, I wouldn't say good. I wouldn't say that, but I would say decent. Perhaps. We have only taken 3 casualties so far. 6 is gonna be a problem because next turn they're gonna get the red entrance troops, which can also enter through 6. And I don't see any way of taking over 6 this turn. So, we'll see what happens. Let's put out the Russian event chits. 10, not possible. 9, not possible. 7. First one goes to 7. Second one also goes to 7. And the last one goes to 8. Not possible. German controlled. 6. Last one goes to 6. And then we have the somewhat dreaded Soviet movement phase. So we'll start with 7. And the only place they can go is to 4. Since 6 is full. So first one, we roll. Second one. Third one. Remember, only 4 is valid. First event. Second event. Okay, no movement. 8, then we go to 6, and in 6 can move to 2 and 4. Reroll that. First the tank, then the engineers. 5, it's no good. And the NKVD, no good. And then the first and only event. 11, cannot go to 11. Now I have to check the list again because I never learned it. 6, 5, yeah, we have 5, okay. So we roll for the first. 8, cannot go. God. Sorry again. 8 again. Last unit. 11. Can't move. First event marker. 10. Can't move. And then this one. And he rolls 2. So that event actually moves over here. That's bad. That means I cannot bring my reinforcements unless that's a dummy. Actually, even if that's a dummy, I can't. Okay, that's a problem. Let's see, which area did we roll for? 5. After 5, you do 9 and 10. German control, and then you do 4 and 3. Okay, let's start with 4. 5, that's invalid. Second one rolls 7. That's full, so it can't move. And then we have 3. It rolls 7. Cannot move. Next marker. 6. Cannot move, it's full. Last one, SMG. 5. Cannot move to 5 because 5 is full. And then finally we have 11, 2, and 12. 11 is German controlled. This one is German controlled, but there's actually one there, so we can roll for that marker. 7, and it cannot move to 7. 7 is all the way over here. And 12 finally is controlled by me. Okay, so finally we get to our own movement phase. And the question now is what I want to do, because things are looking a little bit problematic down here, I gotta say. I think what I am gonna do is I am gonna go ahead and move up these troops first of all, which I have down here. So I'll start with these tanks. They need to roll 1 to 4. The Stug cannot move. The second Stug can move. He moves up here. And then we have the Pioneers. They will also try to move up. And they can, so they move up. Then we have the Flak. They will try to move to the Specialist's house. They get a roll of 1 to 4, which they get. They get a roll of 4. 1, 2, 3. And then we have these guys, and they're going to stay put. The Regimental HQ and the 3rd Battalion of the 194 Regiment is going to go ahead and move into the HQ here. So they need to roll 1 to 5. The HQ makes it, and the infantry makes it. And then, the same with these guys, they're also going to move up there. They need to roll 1 to 5. First one makes it, and the Regimental HQ also makes it. Perfect. Remember, stacking limit is 3, plus 1 HQ, plus 1 armored unit. And then we have this situation down here. Boo! Which is a little bit problematic. Because I really want to get rid of these guys. But, I mean, I could move guys from here up there and then clean this. And then clean this. Because it feels pointless to be fighting over areas which which aren't really essential. Well, okay, I am gonna go ahead and try to move the Stug over here. I roll a 1, so that's legal. Then these guys are gonna move up north. They need to roll 1 to 4. And then the flak, yeah, they all make it. Okay, so the Stug moves over here. And actually I'm gonna go ahead and bring the flak in too, and this guy moves up here. And that is gonna be the end of my movement. Oh, almost all of them were able to move. Okay, so now that we're done with the movement, we're gonna reveal some counters. Let's start over here. An ambush, that's not good. And over here we have, oh yeah, right. These should actually be put face down now, as I don't have any troops there, and you do it at the end, but it's gonna be Soviet controlled in the end. And then we have Fanatic Strong Point in 6. That is the worst place we can have it. Then in this area, Molotov cocktail is not gonna help you. The artillery is bad, of course. Then they have some strong units. I'm gonna have to use my Stukas there, I think. Okay, so let's start by resolving all of the events before we actually start the combat. The Molotov cocktail is going to be discarded since it's only affecting armored troops. The artillery is simply going to give the Russians an additional die in that combat. The Fanatic Strong Point is going to give these guys +1 in combat value. The ambush is going to ambush the engineers here, and we're going to go ahead and roll. 1 to 2 is nothing happens. 4 to 5 it's suppressed. 5 to 6, which we don't want, it will be damaged. And it's a 1 to 3. So that means it's going to be suppressed. And then I think we actually have, this is a little bit vague to me, but it says that because the rules say that the only time that you will not do the 1 damage after combat is if you find an artillery. Let's see, I'm going to read it straight from the rules so you can hear it straight from the game. If the only Soviet counter in the area are artillery chits and or a Fanatic Strongpoint event chits, the German only suffers a hit if he loses combat. Okay, so I'm guessing I am actually going to have to take then one damage even though there was no combat. So I guess if I play against the Fanatic Strongpoint or the artillery, we will do combat, and if I win, I won't have to take the hit. Okay, I changed my mind. I don't have to take a hit. It's only after combat. In all cases, following combat resolution. So that's not a combat resolution. So we're gonna be nice to ourselves this time and not help the Russians out. So we don't take a hit. Okay, so let's start with some battling now. Let's do like we said, up to the right like a book. So let's start with this area. In this area, the Soviets have a combat value of 1, 2, 5, 6. We have a combat value of 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going to have 2 dice versus their 1, but then they get 1 additional dice because of the artillery. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our Stuka, which is going to give us +1. So let's see what happens. Let's hope for the best. And yeah, you guessed right what happened. The enemy wins, so we don't do any damage at all. But as normal after combat, we have to take 1 damage, and Roske 194 regiment is going to go ahead and take that hit. So that's no good. And then we go into this area. And the enemy has a combat value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My combat value is 5, 8, 10. Oh, so it's still going to be 2 versus 1. Not very good. And the Stuka should be on the U side. Do not confuse me. Also, it's not Soviet controlled any longer. This is now contested. Anyway, let's roll for combat. And finally we win. And we get 2 hits, so that's pretty good. So we're going to remove this one, and the tank remains. Okay, so let's see. Then we end up with this area. The combat value of the Russians is 2 + 2, that's 4. My combat value is 4, 6. So again, 2 versus 1 with the die. And we actually managed to take both of them out. That's very good. So both of those guys are taken out, and this area is now German controlled. Well, that was at least some luck. And that, my friends, is the end of turn 5. We go now to turn number 5. Sorry, that's the end of turn 4. We go now to turn number 5. And if you remember, these guys and these guys are going to be the red infantry, meaning they can also enter through 6. So they are going to be a problem. But let's start with the leftovers from turn number 4. And I can tell you right now that these leftovers, one of them can be placed in area number 6. Oh, actually, if both 7 and 8 are German controlled, or actually if 1 or 2, how should I explain it? If both of them are contested, in this case just 1 because the other one is German controlled, the only places these guys can be placed is in 7. So if both are contested, they would only be able to be placed in 7 or 8. So that's a cool thing. So these cannot be placed actually in 6 or 3 or 5. So that's very good for us. So we simply put them in the next turn. However, these red ones, they can be placed in region number 6. And as long as I don't control it, if I control it, we have to roll that die to see if they actually make it. But as long as I don't control it, as long as it's contested, they make it without a roll. However, lucky for us, we only place 1. So the next one also goes to the stack here. I'm actually a little bit unsure. Okay, so the left one is the black one. So we'll keep playing it like that. The one on the right side is going to be the red one. Okay, so that is the end of that. Now we're going to go ahead and shuffle the event chits. I'm a little bit unsure if this was contested last turn or not. I don't think it was. I think it was Soviet controlled. Pretty sure it was. Whoops. So we'll take out 3 of these and start rolling. And now the only valid areas are 7, 6, 3, and 5. So this might take a little while. 10. 4. Can you guys hear the train? 5. That's valid. That's good for me. Put it on 5. These chits do not follow the rule of having to be, traced back and all of that. 12. 10. 4. Has to be, there we go, 6. 6, 7, or 3 or 5. 11. 7. There we go. Okay, so now we come to the Soviet movement phase. So Soviet movement phase, let's see. We'll start with 7, and these guys can move to 8, and they can move to, 8 is the only valid place. So the tank, nope. Other guy, 10, nope. The SMG, 7, ooh, close call. And then event marker, he can move any area which he... 2, that's not going to happen. And then the next area is 6. 8, not legal. The tank, 11, not legal. The fanatic strong point can never move, so we roll for the event chit. We roll 5, and that's not legal. And then which area should be next? 5. Okay, we roll for first unit, 8, not legal. Second unit, 6, not legal. Last unit, dropped it on the floor now. 5, and it's already in 5. Let me get that off the floor. Could have paused the video, but first event marker, 9. And remember, event markers alone cannot capture an area. Next one, 8, and that's illegal. And then the area 3 should be the last one. Actually, no, because now we have 9, and 9 is after 10. So now we have to roll for that. 11. Ooh. Okay. Before 11 comes 3. So we roll for area 3. 5 cannot because it's full. Next one, 7. Can't. Last one is 2. Ooh, they're attacking. And let's put it on this side so we know that it's a unit, not anything else. And then finally we have 11. 10. So it moves here. And 11 is after 10. So this is it. We are finished. Okay, we're finished with the Soviet movement. We're going to go ahead and do our German movement. And it's a problem now. This tank is stuck because of this guy over here. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to try to move some guys around. So the stacking limit is only at the end of the movement phase. So you can take some risks that way. So for example, first I'm going to try to move in troops from here to here and then move in the overflow to over here. But you just have to keep track of who moved or who didn't move. So these guys need a roll of... maybe I should start in the bottom not to get confused. Okay, so I'll move the stag first. He needs a 1 to 4 and he rolls a 6, so he's stuck as usual. And then I'll move these two guys up here. They also need a roll 1 to 4. Actually, okay, was this an event or a unit? Okay, these guys are staying and taking care of this because I can't remember if this was an event or a unit. So I think that was actually a unit. So he's going to stay there. So these guys can take care of him. And then let's see here, these guys are staying as well. And the flak is moving, so I'll roll for that. He rolls a 6, so he can't move. Then we roll for these guys. They need a 1 to 4. The first one makes it. The second one also makes it. And the third guy makes it. So all of them make it. And let's see, all of them are going to go ahead and move into the HQ here. So then we have these guys, which will move. And they only need a 1 to 5 2, so 6 would make them unable to move. So we roll for this guy first. He can move. Then, okay, so this guy cannot move. And this guy cannot move. Oh, shit. And this guy can move. Okay, this is going to be a huge problem. Okay, this guy can move, so he moves over here. And now we have a stacking... We have a big stacking limit problem. It will not help me to move this guy either. So this is how you can take a chance, and then it's also how you can F up. Because now it's the end of the movement phase for me, and any overflow is going to be a kill. So the stacking rules say you can have 3 units plus an HQ plus an armored units. So I have to remove 2 of these units. So this one is destroyed and this one is destroyed. So I just destroyed 2 units on my own. The Russians didn't even have to do it for me. But that is the way it goes sometimes. Okay, so let's reveal some units and some events. Oh, ambush. Whoops. And then we have this event, which is a dummy. Ooh, that's cool at least. And then we have... Oh no, come on, why? Are you serious? Oh, that is extremely frustrating. Okay, so we have to resolve the events first. The dummy is resolved. That means this guy can now do... what is it called? A breakthrough. And move 1 area adjacent. So he will move into this area then. And then we have this place which has an ambush. So we will roll to see 1 to 2. Nothing happens. 3 to 4, someone is suppressed. Okay, so this guy will be suppressed. It will suppress the flak. And then, yeah, this is going to give them an additional die. So let's start with the battle up here. and you know it, I am going to use my Stuka. They have a combat value of 5-6. My combat value is 4-6-9. So I will have 2 dice plus 1, and they will have 1 dice plus 1 because of the guard's counterattack. Oh, yeah. They win. It doesn't matter that I had the regimental there. They still win because they have the guard's counterattack. So they do 1 damage doing that. We'll do that damage to the regimental HQ. And then we also have to take 1 damage as normal, and I will remove this one. So that's tough luck. Very, very tough luck. Okay, next battle we have this one. They have a battle value of combat value of 3 plus 3, 6, 7. Mine is 5, 8, 10. So it's gonna be 2 versus 1. And they win. They roll 6. And I'll take the damage to the Stug. Since this one is suppressed, it didn't take part of the damage. And that is the end of the turn. Very, very, very horrible turn for me. So we move now to turn number 6. We reset the Stuka die, but now we get 1, 1, 1. Final, very, very big push of reinforcements. So let's see here what we have. We have, whoops, drop 1 on the floor. We put the 2 Stugs in the black area because we need to push them over here to area 6. And then we will put in B, we will put every good thing that we have. And then we will put the rest over here in C. Can you still see the game well? You cannot see the ones I have to the side, but I have the leftovers here to the side, and there's quite a lot of them. Okay, so that's my movement phase, or my reinforcements phase. We go now to the nasty Russians, and the Russians have 1 red. One of them is going to be put over here, and 1 red is going to be put over here. Whoops. And that's it. And we go now to the movement. And we start over here at 7. These guys can only move to area... Let's see, they can only move to area 4. So the first tank actually moves to area 4. And then we roll 11, that's going to happen. The SMG ones... 6. Okay, nope, that's full. We go to 6 now. 7. So the first one goes back to 7. Then we have 7. It's full, unfortunately, and 6. But it's already in 6. And do we have more? Okay, so next is area 5. First one goes to 8. Not possible. Next one, 3, not possible, it's full. Next one, 7, and that's not possible. The event marker, 4, that is not possible, that's over here. And after 5 we have, let's see, after 5 we should have 4. 10. So the tank moves over here then. And then after 4 we have 3. 5, not possible. Because it's full. 6. Can move over to 6. And the next one, last one, to 6. And it cannot move to 6 since 6 is full. And then the last one today is going to be number 2. And 7, it cannot go to 7. And that is the end of the Soviet movement phase. It's now my turn to move my troops. And we're going to see here if we can save these situations, because I gotta say things are not looking too well. Things are not looking too well at all. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and move these guys down here. They need to roll 1 to 5. The flak makes it, and the divisional HQ does not make it. And then down here, we're gonna try to move up some troops. These guys stay where they are. The regimental HQ is gonna try to move, as well as the Stug. The regimental HQ makes it, and the Stug also makes it, and they will move up here. And let's see here. Okay, so these two are gonna try to move up here. They need to roll a 1, 2, 4. So the Pioneers make it, and the Stug does not make it, unfortunately. The Stugs are gonna have to, let's see, they're gonna try to move up here. Things are getting problematic for me now. I'm running out of turns. Okay, I have to move them up here, but I'm guessing maybe I should take this chap up. I'll do the Stugs. The Stug, move 5. Okay. I'm going to try with these guys first. These guys will try to move up here. So they need to roll a 1, 2, 5. 1, 1. So they all make it, and they move up into the rail yards. So that means I'll leave the Stug here for now. And these guys are going to move up here. So they need to roll a 1 to 4. He doesn't make it. He doesn't make it. And he doesn't make it, so none of them make it, darn it. Okay, so that is the end of my movement phase. So now we're gonna have battle again. So I'm briefly wondering if I did put out Soviet event chits. I guess I did not, since I don't see any event chits. I only see one. So I must have forgotten that during the Soviet phase. So we are gonna go ahead and shuffle our pile of events and pick 3 of them and hope they're dummies, all of them. There we go. Okay, so the only valid places to put these now are 7, 6, 3 and 5. 7 goes the first one. 5 goes the second. 10 is not valid. 7 goes the last one. Okay, so let's remove these and hope for the best. We have a Molotov cocktail that takes out my Stug. Then we have a dummy, so that's something good. Over and here they came. No, okay, yeah, 2 came there and then 1 came here, and we don't have to reveal these ones, luckily. Okay, so we have some battle to do now, so let's reveal also the Soviet combat units. How the heck could that come there? I don't know. Anyway, it must have moved, because this is a starting unit. As you can see, it's yellow, so it must have moved from an adjacent area. Anyway, let's start with the battle up here. The enemy has a total battle value of 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a battle value of 3, 6, 8. So 2 versus 1 is going to be the deal. Okay, so I actually do damage, and I do damage to 2 of these. So that's great. And I have to take 1 hit, and I'm going to take that to the regimental HQ and eliminate that. Okay, and then we have battle over here. And this time I am going to go ahead and use the Stuka. They have a battle value of 4, 7, 8. My battle value is 6. It's also 8. Oh, So I only get, so they get 2 dice then, because if it's equal, both sides gets 2. I get 3 because of the Stuka. Let me count again. 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. 3, 6, 8. Yep, that's the way it is. Ooh, close call. Okay, I win, and I remove. Let's remove this yellow tank. He's annoying me, and I have to take a hit. I take the hit to the flak. And we have battle over here now. It's gonna be 2 dice for them, only 1 for me. Come on, flak, you can do it. It's actually, let's see here. I have 1 defense. Well, it's actually not, because usually it would be that they have 2 plus 1, that's 3. So that is obviously more than double more than 1. But since it's German control, I get 1 additional defense or combat value. So I have 2. So he would need a 5. So it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be. Yeah, it is gonna be 2, but it's not gonna be 3 at least. So, but it's Russians. Oh yeah, good job, flak. Good job, flak. Even a flak can sometimes take out a T-34 or whatever kind of tank that was. I don't think that was a T-34, but I guess this is a T-34. You tank experts might know what this one on the left is. Okay, so he took a hit because he participated in combat, and then we have last one combat here, and obviously we're gonna have more 4, 7, 10, 13 versus 2. So we will have 3 dice, he will have 1. But don't laugh too early. I'm not gonna finish that word. Oh man. I think I am gonna lose this game. It's very likely, considering how things are going. Things are definitely not going well. Okay, so it's not German controlled any longer. This is considered contested, since we have a Russian here. And that is going to be the end of my turn. We go now to the next turn. Where is the Stuka? We take the Stuka and reset it. And now we have a lot of Russians here that wants to come on the board. You cannot see, but on the side here, there's 2 stacks of non-placed. So I'm just going to put them under these. And I'm going to prioritize these ones, since these ones are actually stronger. Okay, so let's start with the normal ones. If 7 is contested, they can go on 7. So we'll start with the first one, but they will have to do a roll. A 1 to 2, they can be placed. 3 to 4, they have to go to the next turn. 5 to 6, they're killed. So we actually roll a 5, so this one is killed. So next one for 7. Another one killed. Wow. And next one, 5. 1 more killed. Oof. Okay. But we have 3 more. These are the black ones. And it's a 3, so that means it will be delayed until the next turn. Let me sort these guys up. We have 2 more, which can be placed. 3, very good. Also delayed. Come on, give me... Oh yeah, okay, so it's at least it's delayed. I mean, I would have preferred it to be killed, but delayed is good enough for me, because then perhaps I can take this area now. All right. And then we have the red reinforcements. And the red reinforcements can also be played in 7. But in 7 they have to roll about taking fire. So the first one is placed. Then the next one is delayed. Next one is killed. Next one is placed. And then we have one more, and he will be placed in 6. And since 6 is not German controlled, for the special rules, he will not have to roll for what's it called, arriving. So we only actually have now 4 4 remaining counters here on the turn track. Anyway, we are gonna have to roll for Russian movement. These guys can move to 4 and 8. First one does not move. Second one does move. Third one, 10 does not move. Then we go to 8, then we go to 6. Also, we did forget to roll about the damn event sheets again. So let's do that before. Okay, let's move this guy back. Sorry about confusing you guys. Let's mix these guys up. Because you have to do the event sheets before you start moving, since the event sheets also move. Okay, so the first one goes to 7. Second one goes to 7. Oh, I'm gonna have a bad time at 7. And the last one goes to 7. Triple 7. This game is killing me. Okay, now we do the movement. So first one, they can only go to 4 since 6 is full. And 9, not gonna move. Last one, 6 cannot move. Now we roll for the event chits. 7. Sorry, that's an 8. So the first one moves to an 8. Next one, 6. Last one, 5. Cannot move to 5. And then we have 8. 3. Cannot move to 3. Then we have 6. We roll for the first unit. 7. Cannot move to 7, which is full. Next unit, 9. Cannot move to 9. Last unit, 10. Cannot move to 10. Event marker 5, cannot move to 5. And then we have 5. First unit, cannot move to 6. Next unit, cannot move to 6. Last unit, cannot move to, yes, that can move to 9. And then we have these two events. We have 8, cannot move to 8. Next one. We have 11, cannot move to 11. Let's see if 3 or 9 or 2 is next. It should be 9. Okay, so we roll for 9. 9, 4, cannot move to 4. Then we have 3. 8, cannot move to 8. 5, cannot move to 5, I believe. Yes, he can actually. It's a vacant spot. And then finally we have 2. And we roll 8. And no, he cannot move to 8. So that is the end of the movement phase for the Soviets. Now start my movement phase. And yeah, things are not going too good for me. I'm going to try to move the flag up here. Start by doing that. Yes, he can move. Then I am going to go ahead and move. Let's see what I want to move. I want to move one of these guys up there. So they need a 1 to 4. So he's the only one that I'm going to move. Well, I'll try to move all of them. 2. And next one. 6. So he cannot move. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in these guys. So the Stug first of all. The Regimental HQ. Can't move. Then the infantry divisions. The next one. Yes. And let's see. This guy's gonna go ahead and stay. We'll roll for the Stugs. He can't. The next one. He can move. And then we have these guys, and they are gonna try to move up to red square. First one makes it. Second one makes it. Last one makes it. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so that is the deal. And now we're gonna have combat. So let's start by revealing our enemies. We have a tank there. The event, a Molotov cocktail. So we roll. Oh, actually, I forgot to roll before when I did the Molotov cocktail on one of those. We do a roll for the Molotov cocktail, which is a 5. That means 1 damage. And we could actually... let's roll one more time. Yeah, it happens again. Otherwise I would have actually ignored it, since I did 1 damage before by just showing that one. And then we have the guards, and then over here we have a Molotov cocktail again. Let's roll for it this time. Again, it hits, takes out another one of my guys. And then we have an event here, dummy, thank you. But we do have 2 enemies, and that's not too good. Okay, so what do we want to do? Let's start. I'm not going to do that greeting way. I'm going to start over here. They have a combat value of 3. I have a combat value of 8. So I will have 2. Let's see. 2 free dice I will have versus 1. Tarnation. I lose. So I lose control of the area. Very bad. And the tank is fine. Then we have this area. I have a combat value of way more than they. They have a combat value of 2. So again, I have 3 dice versus their 1, but it's probably not going to matter. Oh, actually it did. So I did win. That's perfect. Thank you very much. And I am going to go ahead now and break through into this area. This becomes German controlled. And we will have one more battle. I did 2 hits. 2 dice were higher or equal than there. So that's 1 more hit than enemies. That's why you can do that movement. However, I have to take 1 damage. And the damage is going to be to one of my Stugs. And I now have a combat value of 4, 6, 7. They have a combat value of 3. So again, I have 3 dice versus 1. And again, I managed to take him out. Thank you very much. It becomes German controlled. So we have managed now to successfully encircle this station Stalingrad. But however, now we have 2 tough battles remaining. We have this and we have this. I am going to go all in over up here at the HQ. I need to capture that, so I will send my Stukas. Their combat value is 3, 5, 6, 7. My combat value is 5, 8, 10. So I will have 3 dice with Stuka versus their 1. Let's hope for the best now, man. Also, did I do... Yeah, I did the Stuk damage. That's good. Okay, I took out 2 of them. That's better than none, I guess. I will take the damage hit to this guy. Let's see. Want to do that? No, I'll take it to this guy so I can bring in a fresh one. Okay, we're fighting. And let's see here. We have this battle remaining. And they have a combat value of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my combat value is 9. So I do get 2, and they get 1 dice. But it doesn't matter. I'm killed anyway. I cannot make it with these dice. Something's wrong with them. And that, my friends, is the end of the turn. We go now to turn number 8. 2 turns remaining. We reset the Stuka die. And... we have no reinforcements, so we go to Soviet reinforcements. They have 1 black, 1 remaining. We try 7, which is contested. Oops, I don't know why I'm rolling these. Rolling a German die, it's going to be placed... Nope, 5 to 6, it's killed. Oh, that's actually a red one. Doesn't matter. We take the black ones. On a 3, it's delayed. Come on. On a 1, it's placed, unfortunately. Next one, come on, don't be placed. Oh! It is placed. That's horrible. And that means I'm going to take this one back, actually, because it means that if all of these are placed here, which you should start with the black ones, I think. They were successfully placed. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Don't mind my babbling. It doesn't matter. Would not have changed anything. Okay, so we have a problematic situation to say the least. Let's see, we have to rush our troops up here. We have to secure that area by the end of next turn, otherwise we will have failed. Okay, so let's start by this area. I am gonna try to bring up one of these two, which have a great combat value. So I need to roll 1 to 4. Yes. Okay, so this one is managed to makes it up there. And then I'm going to try to bring one of these Stugs up there. One of them. So let's roll to see. 1, 2, 5. Yep, the Stugs makes it. And then these guys are going to go over there. They need to roll... start with... Actually, you should do area by area, but I'm going to do this one now. He needs a 1 to 4 to move in there, which he does. And then we will try with these guys. They need a 1, 2, so the Stug doesn't make it. The Regimental HQ does make it. Okay, and this guy stays where he is, I guess. Yeah, let him stay. The Stug, I will try to move up to Lenin Square. Yeah, he actually makes it. This guy, I am going to go ahead and move up to State Bank. Maybe I will need him next turn. Or should I? Perhaps I should stay over here. No, I'll move him up in the State Bank. Everyone needs to haul ass up there. I'll do the same with these guys. They're moving up. I need a roll of... This guy stays, and this guy is able to move up. So these guys move up here. So they are ready to go up there. Actually, I'll put them like this, I guess. Like this. It's legal. Don't worry, guys. I promise you. Instead of moving two areas there, their movement value is 2. I move 1 there, 1 there. That way, I feel like I have a little bit more control of the situation. Okay, so my movement is done. I've gotten all of these guys out of there. That's good. This guy could next turn perhaps go somewhere. We're gonna have some ruthless battles now. When I see that again, I've forgotten to put out the damn event chits. So we're gonna do that before we do anything else. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit excited, as you can tell, and that is a reason to this. We're actually let's see here. I'm gonna read the... Because I'm getting so excited, I'm forgetting about the rules. Place German reinforcements. Yeah, Soviet movement should be where I placed out my... Okay, I guess I did my movement before placing out events. Oh, anyway. Okay, so we have a 10. That's not valid. Let's take... Oh man, these dice. 7, so 1 goes to 7. And 1 goes to 3. Let's see, legal. 8, cannot go to 8. 3, cannot go to 3. 12, cannot go to 12. Come on. 1 more goes to 7. 3, cannot go to 3. 5, can go to 5. Okay, so now we should also do our Soviet movement, which we also forgot about in the excitement of everything. So Soviet movement, it doesn't really matter. We did our movement first, but we should not have done that. We should have waited for the Soviets, right? But anyway, it happens sometimes. You do a smaller... Let's roll for this one. Actually, these guys cannot move anywhere, and they could not have moved anywhere either, because they cannot move from an area containing Germans to an area containing Germans, and I had German troops in here at the start, so they cannot move anywhere. The same, these guys can move to area 2. Let's roll for the next one. Let's roll for the next, for the tank. None of them moves. Then we have the guy in... Oh, we have to roll for 5 first, actually. 6. No, it doesn't move. 4. Doesn't move. Last unit. 9. So this one moves up. And we have 5. 7 doesn't move. 9, another movement. And 4, nope, does not move. And then we finish with 9. Let's see, 11. So the tank actually moves up here. And this fella here, 6. No, he doesn't move. And the event 6 doesn't move either. Okay, so that's done. But take note, you should do the Soviet movement, Soviet reinforcements, then Soviet movement, then German movement. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's the end of the turn soon here, and I'm getting very excited. So let's go ahead and reveal these events. Oh, artillery, that's the worst one I can get almost. Now, the guards action is, artillery is still bad. And over here, we have a fanatic strong point, and the NKVD, and that's it. Okay, so let's start with this battle then, which I'm gonna die. They have a combat value of 2. I have combat value of 1, so they're gonna have 2 dice. I'm gonna have 1. It's a tie, so that means they will win since they're Russian. So they kill my unit, and it's now Soviet controlled. Next combat area is gonna be this area. They have a 4-5 in combat value. I have 3, so again it's gonna be 2 versus 1. I actually win, so I take out that NKVD, and I take that mandatory hit, but the area remains controlled by or contested because of the fanatic strong point over here. Okay, then we have this area, and the combat value is 1, 3, 4 versus, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 5, 8, 10, 14. So 2 versus 1. Sorry, that's the wrong color. And I win. They win. I take 1 hit, and the hit is gonna be to the Pioneers. That's the way it goes. Okay, so we have the last place now, and of course I'm gonna send all my Stukas. The combat value here is 3, 6, 7, high combat value versus 9, 10, 11, 12, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 11, 13. 13 versus 7. So it's not going to be the double. So I will not going to have those ordinary 3 dice. It's just going to be 2. Plus 1 for the Stuka. And then the enemy is going to have 1 plus 1 for the artillery. Okay, so we're going to have to do this. I don't want to do it because I have a bad feeling. But we're going to have to. Yep. Enemy wins. The enemy wins. I'm going to tell you that most likely I'm not going to win this game now. But I had that feeling this whole game because I felt like the dice were really against me, to be honest. That is how it is sometimes. That is the end of the turn. We go now to the next turn, and now for this final turn, I am going to try to do this correctly. So first, you do place German reinforcements. There's none. Then you do place Soviet reinforcements. So this guy cannot be placed anywhere because this area is full, this area is full. And let's see. Ooh. Oh, actually, this is German controls. It has to be able to trace a line of contested or Soviet control areas. Otherwise, it could have been sent here. But nope. So this guy is out of the game. He's out of the game. There's not going to be any Soviet reinforcements. But we are going to do our Soviet event shits. And I am praying now that all of them goes to 5 and 6. And if one does make it to 7, that it's a dummy. First one goes to 7, of course. Oh no, did I get a 9? Okay, so it should be going there. And then we get an 8. 8 is... I forgot we have actually 11 and 9 also. 10? We don't have 10 though. 5. Okay, 5. And then, don't forget, we have Soviet movement phase. Let's start with these guys. Let's hope they move. They cannot move because they cannot move from a German-controlled area to a area with Germans to an area with Germans. So we should have moved this guy because then they would have had a chance to move there, but now they can't. So we go to this 6 and they can move to 2. First one does not move. Second one does not move. Third one does not move. The vent here, the fanatic strongpoint, cannot move. And then we have area, let's see, I have to read the rules again. It's gonna be 9. And the event cannot move to 4. And then it's gonna be area, sorry, it should have been 5 before 9 actually. So 9. So he moves. And then we roll 7, cannot move to 7. And then for the event cheats, 8, cannot move. Oh, we roll that one. 6, cannot move. 9. Okay, so these guys moves. And I would roll for them now because 9 was part of it. 6, cannot move to 6. And the event 6, cannot move to 6. Okay, and then we have, finally, we have 11. And he rolls 9, so he moves down here to 9. Very clever, these Russians. Okay, so that is the end of their movement. I can now do my movement, and I am going to go ahead and try to move this tank up here. I need to roll 1, 2, 5, and I get a 6, of course. That is basically nothing I can do about that. Okay, this guy is gonna try to move out of there just to avoid combat. I do, so it becomes it's still contested until, or I guess it's, let's just put Soviet controlled and these guys face down. The fanatic strong point remains. Since it cannot move, there's no reason for me to really move anything at all. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters now in the last turn is this. Let's look at that. It's a bloody ambush. And we roll for it. Oh, that means it's gonna destroy one. It destroys our tank. We put it back in the pile. And now comes the final battle, right? So their battle value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My battle value is 9, 11. So I'm just going to have 2 dice. They are going to have 1. I will use the Stuka. And this will be... There will be a chance of me winning. But before we look at that, we're going to resolve this battle. Because you have to resolve all the battles before the turn is over. So their battle value is 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. My battle value is 5, 8. Okay, so I get 2, they get 1. Okay, so I actually win that one. So one of them is taken out, and I take 1 damage, and I'm going to take that to the Pioneers. Pioneers is killed. And then we'll go up here. I'm going to have 3 dice, and they are going to have 1. So the only way for me to win now is if all of my dice are equal or higher than the red one. So if they roll a 6, all of my dice has to be 6. If they roll a 5, all of my dice has to be a 5 or a 6. If I do that, I will capture Rodimtsev HQ and I will win the game. Otherwise, I will not have captured it. It will be still contested and I will have lost. So it all comes down to this. And this is funny because this happens very often. It was the same, except last game I played, there was just 1 Soviet unit left. And I rolled 3 or 4 dice and I still failed. So you can imagine the odds on this. But, you know, guys, maybe some magic will happen. Let's hope for that. Here we go. Oh no! No! Oh man. Okay, these 2 guys. Let's see. Yeah, these two guys are killed. My dog came over. He's like, what's happening, man? What's happening, bro? There's no worries, Joseph. I rolled 6 and 5, which is higher than 2, so I get 2 hits. However, the 1 is lower than 2. If that 1 would have been anything else, I would have won. But I didn't. I lost. Savage Streets lost. The Germans lost. So historically it's correct. And well, I guess I can take comfort in that the less bad guys won. Sorry, the bigger bad guys. Yeah, the less bad guys won. The bigger bad guys lost. I can take a little bit of comfort in that. But yeah, this place is still contested since these guards are still alive. So unfortunately, yeah, that means I've lost. And like I said, this often, it comes down to it, you know, the way, I think it's the way the game is designed. So it is very exciting. And I want to point out again that yes, the Soviet movement phase is totally annoying. It is, but it is a small part of the game. And once you learn how to do it quickly, it becomes less of a nuisance. So anyway, guys, this is Savage Streets by Multi-Man Publishing. This is a 11-year-old game, but it's still awesome. It's still great, and I really like it. And I mean, it really feels like playing a war game, even though it's a small magazine game. So I really like this one, and this is one that I think will come to the table very often when I'm, you know, standing there with the, you know, looking at all my games thinking, what should I play today? Well, I think many times it's going to be Savage Streets. I'll give you a link in the description where you can get this game directly from Multi-Man Publishing. Otherwise, I know many retailers do have this in stock. I saw it here locally in Sweden. In 2 places had it actually. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed, you might want to subscribe. I am going to do this game with optional rules, which actually makes this game even more fun. It makes it a little bit more complicated, so it might not be something that you always want to play. But if you're in the mood for something even more meaty, well, you might want to try the optional rules. So subscribe to the channel, stick tuned, and you'll see me play with optional rules soon. Again, guys, thank you for watching. See you next time.